This week on the podcast, we're talking all about the D23, the anxiety of getting the tickets. Did we get them? Are we going? Stay tuned to find out. You're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, I'm Francine.
And I'm Carrie.
We're two best friends who can't stop talking, usually about Disney stuff.
Sometimes we have fascinating guests, and sometimes it's just us. But it's always positive and fun.
We're happy to have you join our chat. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. Hello, Carrie.
Well, hello, partner.
How's it going?
It's going.
Good. It always feels weird when I say to you, like, hey, Carrie, because we've been talking for 45 minutes before we hit record.
Maybe we need to think of some other ways to start it off.
We might, well, no, I think it would just feel more natural if we didn't talk for 45 minutes before we started recording. Like if we just jumped right into our conversation, like we should just hit record as soon as we get on the Zoom together.
I don't know about that.
Because some of it was a little,
I don't think that's a good idea.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay, Carrie, before we start anything, Remember last week?
Yep.
We at the end, we were like, oh, we forgot about the review.
We didn't forget this time.
We didn't. So I have it now. So are you good for me to read it?
I'm ready. I'm waiting.
Okay. It's 5 stars. And it says, it's titled The Best Hour You'll Have All Week. So.
Oh, no.
Okay, it says, Francine and Carrie will have your spirit picked up within the first few minutes of listening. They are the best listening hour or so of the unmagical work week. Both Carrie and Francine make you feel like you're part of their inner circle. They'll leave you wishing you could go to Disney with them. The show is a perfect mix of personal and Disney. You'll not be disappointed with their unintentional comedy and expert Disney knowledge. Thank you, ladies, for your time and work on this podcast. Your show and the ensuing laughter is often the pixie dust of my week. Keep up the good work. Can't wait to see what you ladies come up with next. And that was from the Smithster Mom via Apple Podcasts from the U.S.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so thank you. That's such a nice review.
It is. It's lovely.
It is. I love the unintentional comedy because sometimes it is completely unintentional.
We're not trying to be funny.
That's the worst part. Yeah. But they're wishing they could come to Disney with us.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Wouldn't it? It would. We were just that was kind of how we ended up talking about this week's episode was to talk about, we actually, like, how come this one you're okay with no jinxies?
I don't know. Wait, before you go there, you have another announcement to make.
I do?
About what we asked the listeners for.
Oh, yes, because sometimes we do it at the front, sometimes we do it at the end.
We said we got to do it at the front. We got to do it at the front.
Yeah, we got to do it at the front. So what we were asking was for people to let us know. So you can send us an email. You can, message on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. But I prefer a voice clip if you could. To just let us know what some of your favorite moments on the podcast have been. We've got a few of them. And
they're pretty cool.
They're pretty funny. So yeah, we've got a few of them. It is going to take me a little while to get this one. So, I think I mentioned on the last podcast, we have a new podcast editor. Yay. But we're not going to have her do that editing for that one because that's going to probably be crazy with all the clips and stuff that we want to pull out. But we just want to do an episode of some fun stuff.
Yeah. Your favorite memories. Not you, Fran, the listeners' favorite memories.
The listeners' favorite moments from the podcast.
And maybe we thought we'll find some of ours too. So we'll do a mix of our favorite memories and then the ones that have been submitted. That would be great. And I know not everybody knows. I only know how to do it on an Apple on a. Oh my goodness, on an iPhone. You can record like a voice note and then you can send that. But I don't know, Carrie, how do you do it? You can do a voice note on
fangled
on a Samsung. Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
Is this Samsung is called like an quote unquote Android?
It's an Android, yes.
Yeah.
You can even do voice. You could probably do a voice clip on Facebook on Facebook Messenger.
Oh yeah, you probably could. You probably could. That's
so.
True.
There's lots of ways. So it doesn't have to be high tech. You just have to find a way to record it on your phone and email it.
Yeah.
Or message it to PixieDustFan.
I love getting feedback from people or hearing what they enjoyed. Okay, so no. Hold on. Caveat. I like it when our listeners send their, feedback to the podcast episode. What unnerves me is when I get feedback about the podcast from people I work with at the Unmagical job.
Yeah, I think you got roasted a little bit after the last episode, or not the one that went.
It was your idea, the one where getting to know you. So you asking all these questions, I don't think, it never occurred to me that people that I work with at the Unmagical job, I know they've told me before they listen, but I just figured, that was them being polite. They listen to one or two and then that, right? So it never occurred to me that they would listen to this. So one day I get a text from one of my work husbands, and he's like, Franny, I can't believe blah, blah, blah. And he's calling me out on stuff. And I'm like, what? And then 3 or 4 hours later, I get a text from my other work husband. And I'm like, this is so bizarre. I didn't know you listened. Why are you listening to the podcast? He's like, Dan told me to listen. He told me this week was a good one I should listen to. So yeah, they were roasting me about my dolphin, wanting to be a dolphin trainer, but more so that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. They're like, what were you going to cook? There
were no air fryers back then.
Right? They're kind of like, really? Because I always give them grief at work about rescuing the damsels in distress at work. If a woman at work is being very, I don't know what to do. And they all come in I'll help you. I'm like, stop it. You guys can leave her alone, whatever. And now they're like, Fran, you wanted to be like a damsel in distress and have someone take care of you?
That's the best.
Yeah. Yep. So I love feedback.
But you like all of the other feedback.
It was good. Yes, it was good. But my dolphin training was apparently a big hit. Yeah.
It's a surprise to everyone.
So we want your feedback. Yes, please. That would be lovely.
Yeah.
So Carrie.
Yeah.
This week we're going away. We're tempting the jinxies.
I only worry about. I just usually do the jinxies when it's my own trip and I'm traveling by myself or something. If I'm traveling with a group of my regular Disney travelers, then we usually talk about that in advance.
Right. So do you want to talk about the D23 event?
Yes.
How exciting, Carrie.
Yes. So we found out not that long ago. Well, no, we knew when D23 Destination D was coming. So it's every other year is Destination D in Florida. And then the opposite years is a D23 Expo in California. So we knew that it was September, the date. Yes. But Disney does a wonderful job of really not telling us anything till a couple of days before the registration. They hit us with the registration's happening next week. Here's the cost. Here's a little bit of information. Yeah. Just to tease you. Not enough to really decide if you want to go or not, but you're going to go anyways.
Well, the messages were, didn't you send a message? You're like, did you see the price or something like that? And in our group chat, you sent the price and it was like, oh. And then somebody said, so are you going to go, Carrie? And you're like, probably. It's like, was there any doubt?
Yes. So we found out a week ago that registration was going to be this week.
Right. Well, last week when this goes live. But yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. Right. Not in real time right now. Not real time when the podcast goes live. So it's stressful because last time, so this year, so Destination D23 is September 8th to the 10th, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the theme is Disney 100, of course. What else was it going to be this year?
Yeah.
And what was the theme 2 years ago? Not Mickey. That was a couple years before that.
Was a couple years before that.
I can't even remember.
I can't even remember.
Okay, well, whatever the theme was, last time, when we registered, it was a pretty close call. Like we had 3 of us logged in.
Yeah.
Only 2 of us got in. 2 of us was enough to get the 4 of us
tickets.
registered.
Yeah.
But
because one person can only get 2 tickets.
One person only get 2 tickets, and it sold out in like 15 minutes last year.
Yeah.
So this year they upped the price about $80 per person.
$80
US dollars per person. So, we thought
maybe people won't want to buy it.
That might deter people a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's it's the theme, it's celebrating Disney 100, so
yeah,
whatever, like that whatever the price difference would have maybe deterred people, the topic for the year is going to make 10 times more people interested. So we had to strategize and figure it all out.
It was so stressful
to get registered. Spoiler alert is that well, obviously we did get registered, but it also sold out again, in 16 minutes, 15 or 16 minutes.
Yeah.
There's preferred seating that was in the $500 per person US range. And then we just got the general seating, which was, I don't know, maybe it was
$380 something when you added the fees, because I had to send my sister the Canadian dollars because she got my ticket. And it was $500 Canadian.
Wow.
When I did the exchange rate, it was $500 for this weekend event. And
how much?
Like, seriously, people at work were asking me, they're like, what is this thing? And I'm like, it's kind of like Comic-Con for Disney fans. Like, it's a weekend event. We all get together. Your friends are there. There's shopping. There's speakers. There's announcements. There's whatever. It's fun, but it's $500.
So it is $500.
And we can laugh about it now because we have our tickets.
We have our tickets. So I know we'll say yesterday morning or whenever it was, even though it's going to be in the future, but whatever.
It's like you're Marty McFly and I'm like Doc. Yeah. Doc. I was just going to say Doc McStuffins.
Oh my goodness.
Doc, what's his name? Not Doc McFly. What's his? It was Marty McFly. It was Marty McFly.
Okay.
What was Doc's name? Now it's gonna bug me. Oh, okay. Doc. I know his name was Doc. What was his last name? I'll Google it later.
Yesterday morning, we had some serious strategies.
We did.
So I was logging in.
Yes.
Becky was logging in.
Yes.
Our friend Susan was logging in. Our friend Carol was logging in.
Yes.
You couldn't log in because you were leading something at work.
It was it was my day of the week to be in the office. And at that moment I was leading a meeting. So I could in person. So I couldn't be, however, I had to tell people in the room what was going on because my phone was ding, 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 ding. And I was biting my nails. I was breathing heavy. Having severe anxiety seeing the messages because my sister loves technology, but she's not good with technology. And my hopes of a ticket were placed on her because what happened? Okay, so here's what happened. You describe what happened.
So there's a virtual queue, the Queue-It or whatever the heck it is that Disney uses. So
with the little walking man.
Yeah, so you can go into the website whenever. I was in the, maybe it's all supposed to be random, which it must be random because when you read people's comments on threads about the numbers they got and when they checked in and whatever, I was on the D23 Destination D registration website all morning. I only had one device. I didn't put my phone in, but I was using my laptop. Our friend Carol had a few devices. I don't know if other of our friends
had
a few devices.
She sent a picture of her desk, and she had all these devices in front of her.
Because the way that it works is, so you log into the browser, and you can have browsers open on multiple devices, and then when the clock strikes 1:00 Eastern Standard Time, you are randomly put into the queue. So when we got put into the queue, there's Carol with her multiple devices. Oh, she had a few of them going. When we got into the queue, I was like in the 7,000s.
Yeah, you were number 7,000 something.
Becky and
Becky and Susan were in the threes, weren't they?
They might have been in the low 3,000s. And I can't remember Carol's number, but she got a good number.
Yeah, of course. So she was like right up there.
And it was funny because this is the thing. Like, so Carol and I always go to the PIN event every year, and Carol usually just takes care of the registration because it's the same situation where we go into this random queue, and like, no joke, she's always a low number. Like, one year she was like number 13 or number 6
she's
or number
just good
15
at
or
it.
whatever. And I joked in our little chat that we had, like, I'm like, don't worry, Carol's gonna probably get like 325 or something. And then she piped in and she's like, 903 or whatever the heck was. So, and at that point, like, I was kind of like, I was not worried that we weren't gonna get us, like, I wasn't worried like if we didn't get a spot, we would, like, it would be a disaster. But like when Carol got that low number, and then even with the girls in the 3,000s, like, I'm thinking, well, you know, everybody can buy 2. Like, how many seats are there? Like, I was worried that Carol was going to be the only one. She's going to be there. The cheese stands alone. She was going to have her ticket. And then the rest of us were going to be like, have fun time.
Have fun. We'll meet you in the Contempo Cafe at lunch. You can tell us.
At the same time, and we'll hang out afterwards.
We'll meet you in the parking lot. You can tell us all about it.
So I think that the girls were in the 2000s.
Maybe.
So I didn't get through at all. And then Carol got through first. And by that point, we had I knew I was out, so I was pretty much useless. I was just sitting there chatting and making wisecracks. I didn't have to focus on anything. There was no need for me to be stressed.
Carrie was stressing everybody else out.
Because I wasn't getting in the queue. Or getting in to buy one. So then we changed the strategy. So Carol bought my ticket.
Yes.
Because then we would be done. And then Becky and
then
Susan got in.
We waited for Becky and Susan to get there. And then I think Becky got in. And then Susan got in. And then Susan's like, am I buying 1 ticket or 2? And then Becky was like, crickets. And I swear it was like the longest 60 seconds. Like, is she buying my ticket? Is she in? Is she not in? Is Susan going to buy my ticket? Am I getting no ticket? Is Carrie and Carol going without me? Yeah. It was like, and I'm in a meeting and I'm trying to lead this very serious discussion. And all I can see is like my Facebook Messenger popping up on my phone with, Becky, you there? Susan? Blah, blah, blah. And Carrie's like, I got my ticket.
Hey, Carol, how you want me to e-transfer that to you? You want me to give you cold hard cash?
I'm like, Becky! So Becky finally came back and said, done. And then she stressed the whole rest of the day because she only got 1 confirmation. But they charged her credit card enough for 2, so we know that.
You're like, whew.
Yeah, so finally Carol came back and said, no, there was only 1 confirmation email. So Becky, chillax.
So we got in.
Yay. Our friends did not. We have 2 friends. Yeah, we have 2 friends that were trying, and they didn't get 2 other friends.
And that's crazy.
You know what's crazy is that there are people that were willing to spend $1,000 Canadian for 2 people to go sit in this room to listen to announcements that will be online 10 seconds after they're said in that room.
Yeah.
To wait in line to go and spend enormous amounts of money on merchandise. And it sold out in 15 minutes.
Well, yeah.
Right? Like, and if you think about it, you're spending $1,000 for 2 of you to go to spend more money shopping.
Yeah.
And it sold out in 15 minutes.
Well,
because Disney people be crazy.
Disney people be crazy. Guilty as charged.
Hi, my name is Francine, and I am an addict.
first step is recognizing you have a problem. That's the first of the 12-step program. But there are definitely people that would register for that event just for the shopping. Like for the pin trading. Not even for the shopping, just for the pin trading.
For the pin trading, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in and you're probably in it too. There's a D23 Expo group or D23 group on Facebook and just to talk about the events pretty much. Like, it gets busy during Destination D time and it gets really busy during the Expo time, lots of posts. And the gal that runs the group, she posted and said, okay, who got in, who didn't, roll call type of thing. And yeah, there are a few people that comment we're crazy. We pay this much money just to go and buy pins,
pay more money,
and pay more money for pins. So
yeah,
it'd be interesting to know the percentage of people that really the attraction is to get their hands on all those Mickey's at Glendale pins. But the shopping is awesome though. Like last time at the Destination D was all the Muppet merch.
Oh yeah! If you guys could have seen Carrie's face when we walked in there and she saw all of that merch. Oh my God! It was awesome.
So they have the Mickey's at Glendale pop-up shop, which is what they always have. This year they have the Walt Disney Company Store pop-up shop, and they have new. I think I don't remember this in the last couple of years. They have ink and paint marketplace. So I would guess that's a lot of art. There'll be some art.
So yeah. And when you're there and you can get the Imagineering shirts and hoodies, we've talked about them before. They're the best quality ever. I love them. So if they have them in my size, I buy them.
At the expo in last year when we were shopping, I bought they were marking down all the pens. They were the Walt Disney Imagineering pens. And the one pen I bought it in the 3 colors. It is my most favorite pen I've ever had in my entire life, and I paid $1 each for them. I went on Amazon to buy them, and you buy a box of them for $50-something, and I was like,
"Oh, you're kidding!"
Carol was at a pop-up shop not that long ago, and I didn't think of it. And then afterwards, I was like, "Dang it! I should have asked her if they had more of those pens."
Tell me which one it is.
Seem to be clearing. Well, I'll send you.
Send me a picture because I bought a whole bunch of those pens too, and I don't even know which ones I'm using.
I'll gladly take them off your hands.
It can't be this one, could it? The one with the little doohickey on the end?
No. Here, I'm gonna.
Okay, because this is the one I like. Yeah.
Let me dig through my pencil case here.
I guess we could do this after we're done recording.
See,
this is the problem when we start talking and then we forget that we're actually recording and we're not just having a conversation, the two of us.
It's just a regular pen that they put the Walt Disney Imagineering logo on. It's a Uniball Air.
Show me the pen. Oh, I bought some of those. You can have them. I don't like them.
Thank you. What?
Yeah, I don't like that one. I like the other ones. The click clicks.
Pen ever.
I like the click one. I don't like that one. Yeah, you can have mine.
Take them off your hands. I bought the red, the blue, and the black.
I think I did too.
I've been using them sparingly
because you don't want to run out of ink.
I only use them on Mondays and Thursdays. And the rest of the week they stay in my.
Oh my gosh, I have some. I'll give you the pens. I'll give you the pens. Yes. Yeah.
I had Glenda. I told Glenda about it. I'm like, if you're ever buying supplies, you look for this pen.
I have some. I'll give you them. Yes. See.
Anyways, back to
the merch.
Back to Destination.
So now we've solved Carrie's pen. Yes, and we've got our Destination D. So we will be going in September for this event. Obviously, we'll be covering it on the podcast again, like we have in past expos and events.
Yeah, sharing
that. Yeah, so that's exciting, and we're of course excited about the shopping.
And it's really it's a fun event, but it's a lot about just spending time with your friends too, right? That's the part. Yeah. Really, what's most exciting about it to me is that we're all there together and we're having a fun trip.
Yeah, and we're giggling, we're laughing, we're eating together, we're hanging out together, we're sharing stories. It's just, what did you buy? You're surrounded by people like you.
Yeah, and being in the sessions are fun, and there's definitely some of them are maybe a little bit boring, and then there's some that are interesting, and then they there might be one or two things that are really like awesomely shocking or news to us, or a great performance or a surprise like that. They usually have one or two things like that. So it's definitely an awesome,
well, last year
the Disney content.
The last expo at Walt Disney World, we saw Encanto. We got the previewing of Encanto at Disney Springs. And the one before that, or was it two before that, we watched Moana on the beach at the Polynesian.
Yeah. I'll never forget that.
That was so awesome.
I was sitting beside Carolyn, her friend Carolyn, going, because I'm like, I think they're going to bring out The Rock. and every couple of minutes, I'm like, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He never came out. But I kept whispering it. I think The Rock. I think they're going to bring out The Rock.
So here's how different we are. So I was on the other side near the beach. And all I kept doing was staring at the water thinking, what if something comes out of the water?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson comes out of the water.
That's not what I would have been.
You're welcome.
I would have been okay with that.
So yeah, there's definitely experiences like that. We had the one gal, from Encanto. She was one of the
speakers,
the panel people, and she said, didn't she sing for us too? I think.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and then
there's always awesome stuff like that.
The one year they had the guys come and play the theme for, or one of the songs from Mary Poppins.
Yep, they played the music.
That was awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, there's always a few.
And then there was
things.
The Marvel thing, remember? And they told us to leave. Becky and
Disney didn't tell us to
not
leave.
Disney. The people we were with
were like, maybe you two should leave.
Should just leave. Stop asking questions.
It was when they showed us the first so many episodes of Hawkeye.
That was him, Hawkeye. Yeah. And you and I were like, what on earth? And it was like a big deal for Marvel people, and we were both just like, huh? Yeah. So
we didn't get it. But anyways, lots of interesting and surprising stuff and special stuff.
Yes.
But, the fact that we're all there together and we get to do this every couple of years, and it can be a bit of a, as long as we all can register.
Can you imagine if one of us didn't get our tickets?
It can be our tradition. It can continue to be our tradition to go. And I'm excited that Carol's joining us.
Yeah.
Too. Like, she's usually there, but this time she's going to be hanging out with us. She's going solo.
Yes.
Because usually we do our pin trading, our pin event trip, and I don't know that we'll be doing if we're both going to the pin event. So this is kind of
nice.
Good that we have that trip. We have this trip together.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that. But yeah, I think it's we get each other excited, and I think us having this fun girls trip is.
It's always
trumps
fun.
It all.
It does.
Sure.
It does.
Sure, you bring on some Disney singer, or you show us a sneak peek of something, but
yes,
nothing beats us giggling and having fun.
For sure. And the shopping is just awesome. The shopping, yes. Now, have you heard Disney starting to crack down a little bit on some shopping stuff? Have you heard some of the scandals online?
Scandals?
They're scandals. And I just find it interesting because I'm not even going to say their name, but it's someone online who he has a huge following online, and he also has like an ear store. So he makes ears. But Disney has sent like a cease and desist letter. And he posted a live video of getting trespassed from the Magic Kingdom. So he went to go into the Magic Kingdom and his pass didn't work. And then all of a sudden this woman from security came out, took him around, where the bathroom, there's good bathrooms there, by the guest service window. And she took him around the corner and she said, we're issuing a trespass. You know why? Disney Legal's been in touch. But she called it an annual pass violation. So I know he got the thing about the ears, but they actually said it was a pass violation. And I think it's from selling stuff online. Buying it with your annual pass and selling it online.
Wow.
So maybe they are starting to try and make an example out of people who do that kind of thing. Which I'm okay with, because that's why I can't get a hoodie in an extra large when I go. Because large and extra large are all sold out, and you can only get a small because they're not buying them all up.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe. I mean, I feel kind of bad, like if he's been making money off this and this is how he's paying his bills or whatever.
Livelihood.
Yeah, like I hope that's not the case, but on the flip side, as a shopper, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, isn't that the like your worst nightmare, like being trespassed from?
I'd be devastated, Carrie. Can you imagine?
Like horrible.
Well, I remember that was when I first started watching, or not that I watch. That was when I first kind of figured out who Adam the Woo was, because he was trespassed years and years ago from Disney, and he was so upset because he's a real fan, like he's a real Disney fan, and it means so much to him, and it was heartbreaking for him that he wasn't allowed in. I mean, he's obviously allowed in now, but he was trespassed back in the day.
It's scary.
It is.
Like, you know, we don't really do anything bad, but you think like
what do we
even
do?
The people that go in and like, you know, that get into arguments and fight with people and do that, like you get trespassed for you know, causing a ruckus if, you know.
I know.
But
can you imagine? Oh my gosh, I'd be devastated.
I have my friend. So I was when I was at Disneyland, we had a staff meeting. So I logged in. I worked when I was there a little bit in the mornings, and I logged into the staff meeting. And of course, I had to show them I had my new Disneyland sweatshirt that I bought. And one of my colleagues had been at Disney World a few weeks before. And when I saw her at work this past week, she came in to give me a little update on her trip. And she was saying, like, she was explaining like a shopping situation she was having. So she's like, it was a little chilly. And she's like, the shop was really busy. And she's like, I'd been eyeing that sweatshirt. She's like, the sweatshirt that you bought, I got the Walt Disney World version, the white one or whatever. And I'm like, oh, it's a nice sweatshirt. And she's like, and it was busy. She's like, it was cold and a little bit cold. And I thought, well, you know, now's the time, I better get it. It's, you know, like, you know, the cold kind of pushed her to like, okay, now's the time, just whatever. And she couldn't find her size. And the nice cast member went to the back and got her and dug out and found her size. And she was saying like, you know, but I'd never, like, the store was so busy, and it must have been because it was cold, because, like, you know, these sweatshirts were like flying off the shelf, and there wasn't many sizes left or whatever. And she says, oh, like, it's amazing, like, it's cold and everybody wants to buy a sweater. And I'm like, friend, it's not the cold. I go, you were just part of a Disney fandom, a Disney fan. I go, those sweatshirts are brand new. And I go, what you were part of was a brand new sweatshirt. And all the crazy Disney people going bananas. I'm like, when I was at Disneyland, every third person was wearing that sweatshirt that we have. Mine says Disneyland, yours says Walt Disney World. And she's like, yeah, I did see a lot of people wear it. I'm like, yeah, so it maybe a little bit that it was cold or whatever, but I go, when things are new like that, and she's like, but it's just a plain sweatshirt. And she goes, but it is kind of classic looking. That's why I wanted it. And I'm like, it's awesome. B, it's new. And it was just like, so she got to see the whirlwind of, like, you know, all of a sudden there's like a little cyclone of people and shirts and things just flying by you. So I thought that was so funny. I was like, oh no, like maybe it was because it was a little bit cold. They might have sold a few more sweatshirts in that exact moment. I go, but I'm pretty sure it was because, you know, they probably just, you know, brought out a new batch of them, and everybody's going bananas over them.
It's crazy.
That's at Disneyland with all of the new merch. That's exactly.
Yeah.
It was, and anything that's new, like you got to buy it right away, or else you're never gonna find your size.
Well, I hope they've restocked by the time I go in April. I know I'm going in April.
If you see your size, you have to buy it, because if you wait, and it'll be gone in an hour or two.
If I see it and it's in my size and I like it, I buy it. 100%. I don't know exactly. I know when. I sort of know when I'm going. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Flights are crazy right now, Carrie.
I know.
Crazy. So then I was like, do I drive by myself? And then I'm like, I don't need the days. I don't want to take the extra days off work. So, yeah. Plus, I'm doing a cruise out of Miami, so I got to get to Miami.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Shaking it up. 2 different cruises, 2 non-Disney cruises.
I know what's happened to me. Ooh, look at me. Yeah, I'm excited about this one though.
Well, yeah, I'd be afraid to cruise out of Port Canaveral if I was you, because those Disney ships are going to be giving you the stink eye.
I know.
So it's a good thing you're going out of Miami.
I'm doing Virgin cruises, so I feel like it's kind of the opposite of Disney cruise, right? Because the kids aren't allowed on it. So it'll be
no kids allowed.
It'll be interesting to experience that.
I still think Disney needs to do that. A no kids allowed.
I think so too. Yeah.
They probably could charge double. It'll sell out in 16 minutes.
Although I don't know, because one of the things I love about the Disney cruise ships is that the adult only areas are not they're not overflowing. Because everybody's got kids with them.
Yeah, but we could go everywhere. Maybe they would allow, if they had a no kids cruise, maybe they could have the kids club and have stuff for adults to do in there.
And that would be fun.
Yeah.
We could have a ball in some of those kids clubs if they'd let us in. Maybe we could go on the slides. I've always wanted to do that slide in the kiddie pool. Not like the aqueduct or whatever. You know, the one with the hand, and it's just like the little baby slide. And it's circular. It looks so much fun.
But it's got an age limit and age restriction.
It does.
Yeah, like I'm not saying an adult cruise where like all the adults can do is like go in the dining room and go into into the adult area. Like the whole ship is adults. So they'd have to make it like they'd have to have activities for adults all.
That would be fun.
All week long.
Yeah. You're right. We'd probably pay double for that. Yep. Because that's us. Disney people be crazy.
What else were we going to talk about?
I think that was it, wasn't it?
Destination D.
Yeah. That was it. That was the episode, Destination D. Now that we've told them all about it, now they got to wait till September till we experience it.
Told them too much. If you'd like to know more information about Destination D, just go to your browser and type Destination D23.
Well, we have past podcast episodes of us reviewing the actual events,
right? But and really, they haven't told us too much information about the agenda.
We know nothing. It's just 100.
They just give a sprinkling, barely,
seriously,
of what's going to happen. But we already gave them all of our money.
Any other industry, like, can you imagine if they said, "We're holding Comic-Con. We're not telling you who's coming. We're not telling you who's going to be there. But the theme
this year."
That's
a bad example because Comic-Con
they're
would
probably
sell
crazy. No, I don't know. Would they? Would they?
Yep.
If there was like no news, they knew nothing. Except there would be shops.
Yeah. Well, for sure. That's like with the D23 Expo. They don't even really before they used to do the registration. They would announce it 1 year in advance, or maybe the registration would open up 1 year in advance before, and they legit give us the agenda the week before.
Yeah, we have no idea.
You pay for your ticket, you book your hotels, you buy your airfare.
You fly across the country.
An entire trip to California, and then a couple of weeks before, a week before, you actually have the full details. They do give us a little bit earlier now because they do the RSP for the slots for the big things or whatever.
Yeah,
but that's still months and months after you've got everything all planned.
So we know.
And you don't see the final stuff until just before.
We know it's celebrating the 100th. Mm-hmm. And it's at the Contemporary where it always is.
And there'll be an archive exhibit.
Yep.
There'll probably be Josh tomorrow.
That's who I met at the last one. Remember in Walt Disney World? I went to go to the bathroom and he was out in the hall. Yes. Yeah. I got to meet him and Susan took our picture. Yay. I was so lucky.
But that's all we know.
Yeah, that's all we know.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. The five amigos will be there in September. Yep. Cool. Okay, Carrie.
If you're a Disney fan, then you should listen to Carrie and Fran. They laugh and chat and help you make a plan. If you're going to Walt Disney World or Disneyland, and you will become
Okay, well, that jingle is actually from we were just talking about Susan. It was Susan that recorded this for us.
Maybe did she do it after? When did she do? Maybe she was so inspired the last Destination D we spent together that she just needed to write a jingle.
She wrote the jingle for us. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Carrie.
Pixie dust.
Pixie dust.
Yeah.
Do you have pixie dust?
Yeah, I'm going to say my pixie dust is having some work done on my vehicle. So when I was away in California, I left my car at home and my friend got it fixed for me. So he took my car for the week. Well, she's getting a little bit older. She needed she needed an oil change. She needed new spark plugs. She needed stuff like after so many kilometers, like when you get to a certain point, you got to do some maintenance stuff. So she got all that stuff done. Beastie. She got all that stuff done. And then I had like a big clunk in the front of my car. So I got,
what do you mean you had a big clunk?
Like a clunk, like there was a clunk when I I went over things when I drove. It was clunky. Yeah.
Like a sound? You were describing like
a clunk. What like a clunk.
Okay. Like a noise. No. But like I'm wondering if it was a thing or like it's like something you heard
or a rattle or whatever.
Oh my gosh!
Just like something was a little bit loose and like rattly and clunking in the front of my car. So that got fixed too. So I came home.
Oh, look at you!
From my big long travel day and all that stuff, and I just kind of realized over the driving it for the week that Beastie's got a little bit more pep. Like, I don't know. I keep forgetting to ask somebody, like, if she got new spark plugs, does that make her extra sparky? Like, she seems to have a little bit of pep in her step. And no joke, like, there's no more clunk.
So she's like driving so much better.
Nice and smooth. I'm trying to think of what it's called that she replaced up front. But anyways, I just can't think of it right now. But yeah, she's riding smooth. She's no more clunky.
Nice.
She's in pretty good shape. She's ready for a road trip, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So anyways, I was very grateful for that. And I thanked my friend. He actually cleaned my car a little bit too. Like he vacuumed it and he cleaned up the inside a little bit. So I realized once I was grateful and thanked him, but once I, was in Beastie and have benefited from her smooth cruising, she's not so dusty and dirty. That was an awesome thing that he did for me. So
yeah, that was very nice of him. I hate doing stuff for my car, like when you have to take it into the mechanic and then you got to, because when you go in and explain, I'm sure when he took it or did whatever, he did not say there's a clunk. Like he probably
they kind of knew what's going on.
Yeah, because I think my mechanic, they just think I'm nuts, but I think they're used to that. I guess maybe I don't know. That's good. So now you feel pretty good about your car.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for a road trip. Summer road trip. That was
that's why she's going there. That's why she keeps talking about the summer road trip.
I think there's probably a few more things that she needs to have done, maybe, but yeah, she's getting there. She's in good shape. So
right.
I wanted her road trip ready. You never know. There's so many will travel. There's so many places to go.
Where? Oh, you're talking about Dayton, aren't you?
Now
it's like Carrie's like, okay, we're getting closer to the time. We got to talk Dayton.
Well, if I end up going all by myself, all alone, I need to make sure that my car is in decent shape, but doesn't break down on the side of the road. So I'm not all alone in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night, because I'm gonna end up driving in the middle of the night probably because I'm all alone.
Oh my gosh!
My car will break down.
The guilt.
And so I needed to make sure that Beastie was in good shape. So that's the plan.
Got it.
So what about your pixie? Dust? What's yours for this week?
My pixie dust is, I don't know if I told you before that I got the gas company or whatever gives you a rebate on those smart meters. You know, the thermostats? No.
Oh, yeah, you were trying to install them, aren't you?
Yeah. So instead, the electrical power, whatever, I just said, forget it. I messaged a handyman online, and he said,
"You're like, hey,
hello,
hey, handy."
And he sent 2 young boys out, and they installed it for me. So I do have to paint though. Like, Carrie, my house is pretty bad. But anyway, whatever. It's installed.
Maybe the handymans will help you.
Well, because you know what it is? I need the furniture moved. Like, I can paint. I just don't like to paint, but I can do it if I have to. And I can do it. My mother used to paint our house, no word of a lie, like every other year. It was like, you'd come home from school, come home from work, and she'd be like, I'm thinking I don't like this color. And next weekend, she would get a can of paint, and Muggins here would have to move all the furniture and paint the room. And she would do the whole house, and she'd settle for a couple months, and then it would start all over again. I kid you not. I was just thankful when she stopped wallpapering, because that was worse.
That would be horrible.
So I have like this aversion to painting. So I can do it, but I don't like it. Anyway, so when
makes sense.
When he took the thermostat off, though, there's like this big block where, because of course it's a nice little tiny round one that I have now, and it was like a big bulky. Anyway, whatever. I don't care how it looks. It's installed. So I can now adjust my thermostat from Florida if I wanted. Yes, because you know how I have this issue. She's rolling her eyes at me. You can't see this.
Wow.
I have this issue where my heat goes out all the time in the winter, especially. And when that happens, my thermostat, like, it's running 24/7. So if I'm in Florida when this happens, 6 days my thermostat can be running. So now I'll be able to see it on my phone. Very exciting.
That's pretty spiffy.
It is, because I don't know how to use the one on the wall. I can't get that to work, so I just use it from my phone now. Like, I don't know how to turn it on the wall. But it's good. So I'm just excited, because the other thing that happened is the 2 men, or the two kids that came, they ended up having to put in a new wire. So I was doing this myself. I had the whole thing apart. I had all the power off. And then I was like, maybe I don't really know what I'm doing. So I put it all back together. And thank goodness I didn't, because the house would have burned down, because there was an extra wire that needed to be installed and put together and connected to the furnace downstairs. So that's my pixie dust. I didn't burn the house down, and it's installed. Yay.
Nice.
That's my pixie dust. Yeah.
That's good.
Good news. Good news.
Good news. You don't want... a disaster happening.
I did not burn my house down. Yes, but I do need to paint. So at some point I'm going to have to just...
Well, that might be future pixie dust when you painted.
I don't know, man. When I painted my bathroom, after I had the tub pulled out or whatever, I forgot. Painting when I was 15, 16, 17, no problem. Painting at this age, problem.
No way.
Problem. We can have a painting party. Painting party.
You don't want me to paint anything. I'll paint you a portrait. I'll paint you a picture. I'll paint you a mural. You do not want me to paint a room.
Why? Have you not?
I don't know. I'm no joke. Like, you do not want me to paint anything.
Carrie, you stick the paint on a roller, you roll it up and down the wall, You're done.
Oh, no.
Seriously?
No, not good. I've tried. Just step away.
That could be a fun episode.
I'll make dinner.
Oh, okay, Carrie, we've babbled enough, as always.
Yep.
Okay,
bye.
Anna, thank you for editing. Everyone, thank you for listening. And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast player so you'll get a new episode every week. And find us on social media too. We'd love to hear from you.
Till next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.